Trump's press conference today went off the rails right away when a reporter asked him about Wall Street calling him a taco. Trump always chickens out. Watch Trump just yell at this reporter as he was so taken aback by the question. Play this clip.
But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead.
Now let me show you the actual question here. Play this clip.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till Jeanine. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out?
Donald Trump could not handle it. First he says, you're saying I got kicked out? What? Oh, I'm not a chicken. Let me tell you how you're supposed to negotiate. Then Donald Trump couldn't understand what the French reporter was asking him. It was pretty clear to me. Here, play this clip.
When could the administration resume the interviews for foreign students visa? When do you think your administration could resume these interviews?
On what?
For the foreign student visa. Yesterday there was...
for the French visa?
For the French too, but all the foreign students.
Oh, for the foreign visas? What are you referring? Foreign visas for what? Are you talking about for colleges?
College
okay, so you're off of Israel. Now you're talking about colleges, right?
Yes, no.
Okay. Well, we're going to see. Look, Harvard has been a disaster.
And it seemed like he didn't even know that his own policy was to prevent foreign students from getting visas here, pushing all of this incredible talent that would otherwise be studying in the United States away from the United States. Next up, Donald Trump is asked, do you think Putin is ever going to stop his unlawful invasion of Ukraine? In typical Trump fashion, he goes, just give me 2 weeks. I just need 2 weeks. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, on Russia. Mr. President, on Russia. On Russia, Mr. President.
Please.
Do you believe the Russians are being disrespectful when they say that your criticisms of Putin are simply an emotional response? And do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out whether or not he's tapping us along or not. And if he is, we'll respond a little bit differently, but it'll take about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We have Mr. Witkoff is here, who's doing a phenomenal job.
Donald Trump then starts talking about how the Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, said that America is hot and therefore we are hot. And then he goes on to say that we've actually helped China by reducing the tariffs. And he goes, you don't know how negotiations work. You don't know how negotiations. We're helping China. You're helping China? Didn't you say that these tariffs were going to be so great we weren't going to even need to have taxes anymore, that it would just be an external revenue service? What are you talking about? This guy's an idiot. Play this clip.
In the world, I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, you got the hottest we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive. And you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things. And you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think
Then Donald Trump lies and says he went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, and he claims he brought back $5.1 trillion, which would be like a quarter of our GDP. You did not bring back $5.1 trillion. The entire GDP of Qatar is $200 billion, UAE $400 billion, Saudi Arabia like $1 trillion. Here, play this clip.
This isn't my war. This is Biden's war, Zelensky's war, and Putin's war. This isn't Trump's war. I'm only here for one thing, to see if I can end it, to save 5,000 lives a week and a lot of money. The money being much less important, because I made that money. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, and we brought back $5.1 trillion. So I made that money in about 2 hours, the money that we're talking about, but it's still think of it, $300 billion we've spent with no checks, no balances. They just send cash.
The lying is just so out of control. How do you know Trump's lying? He's talking and holding a press conference. Trump is then asked, "You said that Putin was playing with fire. What do you mean by that?" He goes, "My words speak very loudly, very loudly." Here, play this clip.
President, you said
It's having to do with Iran. We're having very good talks with
Mr. President, you said yesterday that Putin is playing with fire. What will be the consequences for Russia if Russia continues?
Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly, but the words speak pretty loud. We're not happy about that situation. I think we're doing very well with Iran. I think we're doing very well with Gaza, but we are doing very well with Iran, and I think we're going to see something very sensible, because there are only two outcomes. You know what the two outcomes is: a smart outcome, and there's a violent outcome. And I don't think anybody wants to see the second. But I think we've made a lot of progress, and we'll see. You know, they still have to agree to the final stages of a document. But I think you could be very well surprised what happens there, and it'd be a great thing for them. They could have a great country into the future. Yeah.
No, your words mean absolutely nothing. They're mocking you in Russia. Our European allies think that you're so pathetic and weak. They have their own strategy without you right now. You've isolated the United States and made the U.S. look so utterly weak, Donald. A reporter then asks, "So what's stopping you from imposing sanctions against Putin like you've been saying you were going to do for some time? What's stopping you?" Here, play this clip.
All right, please go ahead.
What stopped you from imposing new sanctions on Russia?
Only the fact that if I think I'm close to getting a deal, I don't want to screw it up by doing that. Let me tell you, I'm a lot tougher than the people you're talking about, but you have to know when to use that. If I think it's going to hurt a deal, this isn't my war. This is Biden's war, Zelensky's war, and Putin's war. This isn't Trump's war.
Again, he is just so utterly weak. You can bait this guy with a tweet. You can play him. He is so utterly pathetic. Then Trump lies about TikTok, and he claims that he won the vote with young people in 2024. He did not win the young people vote. Now, if he wanted to be honest, he could have said there were more young people who voted for Trump than were expected. That at least would be objectively true, but still significantly more young people voted for former Vice President Kamala Harris. But here he lies. Play this clip.
On Nippon Steel, this arrangement that was just announced in the golden share, is that an arrangement you would consider for TikTok as well?
Nothing to do with TikTok. Totally different kind of a deal. We'll have to get, to do it properly, we'll probably have to get China's approval. China's never easy. China's never easy. But I think we'll be able to save TikTok. I'd like to save TikTok. I mean, TikTok was very good to me. I won the young people by 37%. No Republicans ever won, and I won by 37%. And Charlie Kirk will tell you TikTok helped. But Charlie Kirk helped also.
Donald Trump is asked about the gold-plated 747 jet from Qatar, and he goes, once again, he lies about picking up $5.1 trillion, which he didn't do, which is a lie. And he goes, "I picked up $5.1 trillion, so I've more than paid for the jet." You see how he uses the fraud numbers, though? He takes a fake number like 5.1 trillion and then says, well, now I can get the bribe. I can get the jet. Now we can do tax cuts for billionaires for $4 trillion, $5 trillion, because I made back $5.1 trillion. So I've offset it. when he didn't. He just made up a number, 5.1 trillion, whereas the tax cuts for the billionaires, ripping the money away from low income and middle class Americans, is real. And that's going to have an impact. Taking away Medicaid is real. Taking away SNAP benefits is real. Here, play this clip.
You can imagine what's happened to that money. I never saw anything like it in my life, but I'm more interested because I picked up $5.1 trillion and, by the way, got a beautiful, big, magnificent, free airplane for the United States Air Force, okay? Very proud of that, too. They tried to say, oh, it's Trump's airplane. Oh, yeah, sure. It's too big. It's frankly, it's too big, much too big.
When can we expect that to be the Air Force One?
Well, it's here already.
Yeah.
It's in the country. It's being refitted for military standard.
How much will it cost to refit it?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is, a hell of a lot less than building a new one. We're waiting too long from Boeing. Boeing has got to get its act together. Yeah.
Sir, on
Donald Trump then attacks Harvard and claims they don't know how to do math in Harvard. Play this clip.
Yeah.
How will the confrontation with Harvard end? Do you foresee?
I don't know. I don't know. Harvard's got to behave themselves. Harvard is treating our country with great disrespect, and all they're doing is getting in deeper and deeper and deeper. They've got to behave themselves. You know, I'm looking out for the country and for Harvard. I want Harvard to do well. I want Harvard to be great again, probably, because how can it be great? How can it be great when you have Harvard announced 2 weeks ago that they are going to teach remedial mathematics, remedial, meaning they're going to teach low-grade mathematics, like 2 + 2 is 4. How did these people get into Harvard if they can't do basic mathematics? How did they do it? I mean, people with 1,600 in their boards don't get in, and they're letting people in, and they're bragging about how they're teaching them basic mathematics. Where did these people come from? So we have to look at the list, and Harvard has to understand the last thing I want to do is hurt them. They're hurting themselves. They're fighting. You know, Columbia has been they were very, very bad what they've done. They're very anti-Semitic and lots of other things, but they're working with us on finding a solution. And, you know, they're taking off that hot seat. But Harvard wants to fight. They want to show how smart they are, and they're getting their ass kicked. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Donald Trump then says he's open to pardoning the kidnappers of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Play this clip.
Question.
Mr. President, on Harvard,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Will you pardon the people who are accused of conspiring to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer?
I'm going to look at it. I will take a look at it. It's been brought to my attention. I did watch the trial. It looked to me like somewhat of a railroad job. I'll be honest with you. It looked to me like some people said some stupid things. You know, they were drinking, and I think they said stupid things. But I'll take a look at that. And a lot of people are asking me that question from both sides, actually. A lot of people think they got railroaded. A lot of people think they got railroaded. And probably some people don't. One more.
Donald Trump then tries to talk about, I guess, what he's proposing to Iran as part of a nuclear deal. So Donald Trump's trying to basically bring back Obama's deal, but then take credit for it, the same way the MAGA Republicans stole Cory Booker's idea for savings accounts for newborns, but then Trump is calling it Trump savings accounts because he's a maniac and a malignant narcissist. But Donald Trump doesn't understand what a deal like this looks like. So here's how he describes it in a bunch of words that don't necessarily form a sentence. But here's what he says about Iran. Play this clip.
Appropriate. We're having very good discussions with him. And I said, I don't think it's appropriate right now, because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors. We can take whatever we want. We can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? 2 ways of doing it. Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment, could change with a phone call. But right now, I think they want to make a deal. And if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
And if you're saying, well, Ben, why was he doing a press conference? Why is he talking about all of those things? It's a good question, because it really wasn't clear. Although they were swearing in Fox News host Jeanine Pirro as the top federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C., not really sure why that required an Oval Office press conference swearing in a United States attorney for Washington, D.C., but here he claims that Jeanine Pirro went after real criminals, not the fake criminals that they're going after today. Play this clip.
Good as anybody I've seen. She began a career in 1975 as an assistant district attorney in Westchester County, New York, where she prosecuted violent crimes. And that was a serious prosecutor. And she went after real criminals, not fake criminals like we seem to do today nowadays, people that shouldn't be prosecuted.
And if you want to see what a clown show, what a gong show, what a ridiculous thing the United States has become, then they swear in Jeanine Pirro. I'm only going to show you 10 seconds of this, but I want to make the point that this is worse than idiocracy. Play this clip.
Do solemnly swear.
I, Jeanine Pirro, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.